Video game flash fiction. This is a timed writing game where I will randomly select one of these Atari 2600 games, slot in the console, play the game for now 90 minutes, read the game at the end, and rate it and critique it. Here's the random selection. I'm going to roll this 4-sided dice. I have 4 columns. We're going to pick the column first. We have 1 to 4. We got 4. We got top to bottom. For the row, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. For today's video game flash fiction story, we have Atari, Circus Atari. It's got a crazy little nice painted illustration. I gotta itch my nose. Oh, that was disgusting, I know, but that felt relieving. And let's go ahead and see what this game has to offer. I do need again, try to lean out camera this time though. Hair flying around, and allergens as well, but that's life. It's time to write and try to forget about all that stuff. And we have a game called Circus Atari. Circus Atari. Let's go for this. I'm trying to, is this the one I want to go down? Yeah. All right, well, you're seeing what I'm seeing, and I don't know if there's sound, maybe. So far, it doesn't seem like there's much sound to it. Let me get a bigger thing, because I'm looking over at this screen. We'll get it. I'll get there. It's slow moving, slow thought. There he is. That's the device I want for Circus Atari. What in the... I don't know. Does this require the paddle? I feel like this requires the paddle. I should have looked at the cartridge. Let me look at the cartridge. Yes. As you see right here, I forgot to read the label. Maybe you could see that. It says, use with paddle controllers. Well, I got a joystick. Let's get the paddles. Well, the time is still ticking. Ooh, and I had to turn that off, so I don't even have a screen there. I should put the game back in. And let's go. All right, I got the paddle controllers. I've got some liquids to consume, with coffee and water. Oh. Here we are again. Now I got the proper, maybe? Which one? Okay. Oh, fudge. Which one is that? I guess I had the right one. Well, let's reset. Is this controller not working? Like what's going down? I mean, I can't move these things. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, dude. I thought I saw some movement here, so... oh, this could be fun. If only I had a paddle controller that worked. What if I use the single paddle one? Because this one seems broke, and I really don't have additional paddle controllers with me. Fudge, man. I don't want this to be a bad game because I can't handle the... Do I have to hold down the thing? Let me try with the other paddle. I'm just like mercilessly killing this person. Mercilessly, maybe. Well, the single paddle controller that usually you use for races not surprisingly does not work. So let's go to multi-paddle. Let's try it again. I got movement now. There we go. Ooh, yes. This is fun now. Okay, I don't want to have to just... Okay. I don't know what had happened. It's hard. That's what's happening. Okay, the movement... This is kind of intense, especially because, like, oh my god, this could be, what the hell? How did that, oh my god, I think this is like my new favorite game. It's like a more fun version of Breakout. And I think it's the fact that, oh, this is great. Oh, this is fun. I don't know if I'm going to be able to write the story. Oh, come on. Come on. Oh, fudge. I went the wrong way. Come on. Yes. Come on. Bounce. Ooh, yeah. I'm sorry, dude. I'm lost. Let's go again. Let's just play this. This is fun. Holy cow. This is... What is Circus Atari? It's got so much intellectual property inside that name, the Atari. I'm going to have to write it somehow. I don't know what the Atari is going to mean in this, though. That's the difficult part I'm thinking about right now. Like, the mechanics of this game, I think, is going to be an interesting story unto itself, but how to fit Atari in there. Without being kind and support, because I mean, I'm literally my first gaming console was this, not this particular version of it. I got the digital version just because it makes it easier to stream, but I've got plenty of the analog, and they're cool. Damn it! But they don't stream as well. I have to use a camera, which is not a bad thing, but I got to think about this story. Oh, come on. So like this, I mean, it's as easily as just Circus. I mean, I feel like someone can't live after this story that I read on this game. It could be like, oh man, that was, okay, so let's take a look at the board. So I got like, wow, that's crazy. That's crazy fun. Now I could see this. This is, I think if, I'm going to blame the paddle a little bit. It's a little slow on the reaction, so it's not totally, the craftsman always blames the tool. How do I flip around? Like, I got to be able to face the other way somehow, because I'm having issues when they're going one way. Like I just did that. I don't know how I flipped. I think I like hit the button and twisted. Yeah. All right, let's try to, come on. Man, that's so pong paddly sticky. How many man. It's like the one, how do you even write a story on Circus Atari? I mean, I guess you're at least in a circus, so we can have that as, Circus Atari. I don't know. I want Atari. What would Atari? What does Atari even mean? Is it like a made-up word? I researched this and I knew this at one point in time, but my mind is so full of stuff. Like I did a whole bunch of on there just to look at the copyright and trademarks and all that type of stuff. And it was definitely registered trademark. I feel like it was a genesis of a word or something like that. Regardless. Uh-oh. And now I can't move. My paddle is not working anymore. Huh. That was short-lived. Did it come loose? What? Oh, wait. Oh, maybe it is the wires. Maybe there's a wire issue, because I can kind of like, if I put my thumbs right here at the base and turn it like this, I got way more control. It kind of slows it, at least sort of, and then I get excited and I move too fast. Oh, I see. I got excited and I moved too fast. The human mind is getting... Oh, see, I need to flip. And I wish I could like slide like you can on Breakout, where you're, but it seems like you have to like... Oh, I did flip. Oh man, that was 2. All right, I got to write a story. This is the point, is writing a story. I'm going to play this game in a moment. Again, of course, but I want to be able to at least open up a file. Circus, Atari. Circus, Atari. I'd never played this game before. I was expecting something else, to be honest. What's the voice? I feel like I've recently used a voice of an announcer. I could just do it like third person omniscient. I could do it first person. First person would, I don't know. You're doing a daredevil sport. You're probably not thinking. You're trying not to think too much. Because like any sport or any physical event where you have to have precision, the less you think, the better off you are. Assuming you've trained an incredible amount that you don't have to think about doing the motion anymore. Now there is that state, I suppose, during some sports when you're really good, and you're still not thinking about what you're doing, but you're thinking about something else. You can be so distracted that your body is just sort of locked in automated trained mode. I've never been at that level. I've only heard about it, but they're still not thinking. They're not thinking about what they're doing. The moment they do, you can tell sometimes, especially if it's a pitcher. Thinking too much. Anyway, that's not. This is Circus Atari. I'm trying to think of the words. What's going on? Like you're floating above. Yeah, it's like it floats. That's just saying. So this is like a floating. Which one's warm? This one's the warm one. Okay, now. Okay, so I gotta jiggle the wire. Something. Buttons. That always works. There we go. Okay, so there's something. The connection's not that good, but I should. Oh, the game's over. Let's try one more time. Because this is like a... I don't even know. Huh. Yeah, the wires. I've at least proven that it's the handle, not just me. Let's write a story. I'm going to look at this in the background and try to think of... the amazing... what's the amazing? The amazing something. Or the flying Flanders. Nah, I think Flanders. I think of the Simpsons character named Flanders too much. The flying. I want alliteration. Flying Franks. Flanders is the Flying Freedmans. Sure, the Flying Freedmans. The Flying Freedmans, fantastic. What is it? Drone something. Drone. I don't know. Drone lever. The floating drone. What the hell are those things even? What would you call that? Like, it reminds me more of a teeter-totter. And it acts as a lever, right? Because you're going to shoot. I guess you're going to wedge between, and then the lever is going to pivot, and it's going to shoot. The levitating lever. For the Flying Freeman's fantastic levitating lever. Levitate. Levitate. I don't know. That's how I'm going to spell levitate. Levitate? I don't know. Levitating lever. I can be wrong. It's quite okay, but that annoys me. I really want to use a search and return engine right now to find out, but I'm just going to do levitate. The Flying Freeman's fantastic levitating lever. Levitating lever hovers over the circus ring. And between two trapeze? Oh, God. Words I don't write enough. Nor have been counted in my life to spell. Trapeze? Trapeze? I don't know. Between two trapeze poles and platforms. The fantastic Freedman's, the Flying Freedman's fantastic levitating lever. Where am I going to get Atari in this? The hell? They're going to do an Atari. I'm going to have them succeed. They're going to win. They're not. It ain't going to be about tragedy, you know? It's going to be after. It's coming back. It's going to be a story about comeback. They're going to pull off the Atari. A dangerous stunt. It's the Atari. The Flying Freedman's fantastic levitating lever hovers over the circus ring in between two trapeze? I feel like there's another S there. Trapeze poles and platforms. Which one? Let's say, I don't want to use the name Sally because I feel like I've used that, and I'm just going to have male-female. It's like a brother-sister duel or a husband-wife or some sort of opposite opposing gender pair to be able to soar, you know, because they're just, I don't know the history behind these two. Call them brother and sisters. The Flying Freeman's levitating lever hovers over the circus ring platforms. Yolanda guides the lever. You know, you spell it once wrong, you can lever. Sure. We're going to leave it. Yolanda guides the levitating lever that looks like a flying teeter-totter. Teeter-totter. What a word. Let's get on the teeter-totter. Teeter-totter. The flying Freeman's fantastic levitating lever hovers over the circus ring in between two trapeze poles and platforms. Yolanda guides the levitating lever that looks like a flying teeter-totter on one side by one pole. While her brother, just Jeff came to mind. I don't think I've used the name Jeff in that form for some time, so let's go ahead and use Jeff. Yolanda and Jeff. Yolanda guides the levitating lever that looks like a flying teeter-totter by one pole while her brother Jeff. Excuse me. I mean, I would imagine that Jeff has to climb up. So let's try to get that intro again. Let's see if I can play this and do it for reals. Let's go for it. All right, Jeff, you're climbing. Yolanda's waiting. Man. Like, this is literally how I'm going to have to move it? That's weird. This is disturbingly not cool. I can't get Yolanda to jump. I mean, Yolanda to move very well. Oh, wait, is it this one? What the hell? Holy cow. And that makes me be stupid. That's fine. I'm fine with being stupid. That's just life. And sometimes I'm fucking stupid. Oh, yeah, the teeter-totter. Oh, shoot. I actually thought. And so, yeah. I don't know. The bouncing was a little weird. I guess they're like, maybe they climb to the top. That's what I'm thinking. Then they leap down onto it. But in this, they like start at the top. They fall like a trampoline and then they bounce. So I'd imagine you'd have to climb up the pole. Jeff has to climb this pole, has to drop, hits a trampoline that then launches him in the air to pop a balloon. They're just going to be balloons floating in the ceiling. I think that's the best sort of way to show this. Previous bowls and under layers of red, blue, and green. You had yellow. What? Yellow's first. Yellow, blue, and red balloons. I guess the whole thing is pulling off an Atari in a live audience, and they're gonna do it. I gotta build up a little bit of drama though, because I think Jeff's gonna have been in an accident. So let's mention that, like in the first sentence of paragraph, to have that conflict. The Flying Freeman's fantastic letter hovers over the circus ring in between two trapeze poles and platform layers of yellow, red, and blue. Layers. Trapeze poles and platforms and below. And bellow. I want to bellow. Below layers of red, yellow, blood balloons. Yolanda guides the levitating lever that looks like a flying teeter-totter by one pole, while her brother Jeff climbs the other pole. Near the ceiling and the balloons. the flying, fantastic Freemans ready for a completion of an Atari, the first Atari since Jeff's return to the circus. Why not? Just completing the Atari is just being able to like pop all the balloons maybe, and boom. They're going to do it. I think so, but are they going to do it? Maybe I'll roll the dice. Maybe they'll complete an Atari, but then go for more Ataris. I just did an Atari. That might work. The first Atari since Jeff's return to the circus. Jeff's last. Now it won't be an Atari. Do we make it about the trapeze that caused the air, or was it something that happened after? No, I'm going to have to be the event in it, so if there's also more tension in the story, and I could build up that tension with having this trick been what injured Jeff. But it wasn't, yeah. Yeah. Maybe it hurt his thumb. No, I mean, I like the thumb idea. The thumb idea came to mind because, you know, I think anybody who's played video games with joysticks and buttons understands, yes, there is a little bit soreness that can happen in the hands. You get injuries with your thumb. But you're repetitively moving the thing, so it's not like there's no reason behind why. It doesn't make you weak. Just maybe you should start exercising your hands a little bit more. But that's a way different tangent than I need to go here. I need to have Jeff be an injury in this story that I'm looking at, and not necessarily it's going to be this. Maybe, I mean, why you wouldn't need the thumb, so what? You're jumping. If you broke your thumb, you're not under contract. You're not getting paid salary, and you get paid per gig. Because Jeff, and that's the Flying Freemans are their gig job. It's not like they've got insurance. It's not like they can pay for things if they're not doing their gig. So they got to do the gig. So if the thumb was broke, they could use a cast, and Jeff would definitely use a cast for that. So it has to be something that's, I guess. Your hand, no, because hands to climb. You injured your. Jeff got injured. It's got to be the Atari they got injured on, but they're going to successfully complete the first Atari since Jeff returned to the circus after filling the last Atari. It'd be like Jeff's last Atari. Atari neared the end. Now I gotta go. So this is the hard thing. I got this in present tense perfect, right? Mostly, yeah. I use those verbs up. I don't see like present perfect or anything like that. No past. But then I go into past, and it seems a little bit weird. So Jeff's last Atari, Jeff's last, I'm just going to do this. Atari tarnishes, because then it seems weird. That's why I'm going to go put this all in past tense. Hovered over the Circus ring between two trapeze poles and platforms and below the layers of red and blue red balloons. Yolanda guided the lever that looks like a flying teeter-totter. By one pole, while her brother on one pole, while her other brother climbed the other pole. near the ceiling and the balloons. The fantastic flying Freeman's ready for the complete Atari. The first Atari since Jeff returned to the circus after failing the last Atari. Okay, so during Jeff's last Atari, now I'm not gonna show what an Atari is because I'm gonna have to but we'll just do a brief. Jeff's last Atari ended near the end of their performance when Jeff's last Atari ended near the end of their performance when what did Jeff do? Missed the levitating lever. Hit when Jeff landed on the when only one of Jeff's legs landed on the levitating lever. The first Atari since Jeff returned to the circus after falling on the last Atari. The failing their last Atari. Jeff's last Atari ended near the end of their performance only when one of Jeff's legs landed on the levitating lever. Jeff's leg snapped and he landed in the net to the awe of the crowd. The sound of the clapping audience. When Jeff raised a fist before he rolled into the ambulance, motivated Jeff during the past 2 months of healing and physical therapy. What I mean, Jeff knew his savings saved. Let's go. Jeff spent his savings while rehabilitating and working with rehabilitating. I don't know. That's a word. If you didn't know, I'll let you know it's a word. I don't know if I spelled that word right. Rehabilitating. Rehabilitating. I don't know. And working with spend his savings while rehabilitating. And no, I'm not gonna say and drank No, I'm not. No, that Jeff's man. Spent his saving while rehabilitating, and supported and talked with what's Yolanda? Well, she performed Ataris with her boyfriend, the trapeze artist. Skin trapeze trapeze artist. What's a good trapeze? I've like something that's not Sven. Trapeze artist Sven. There we go. Jeff felt his leg. All right, so I got that. So what's the Atari? So I got the setup. I got 53 minutes left. I got an opening paragraph. I got the setup of the characters and the tension they feel. You know, there's a little bit of conflict. There's like he wants the job back. Someone's taking the job, and he understands because the sister needs money too, and he needs money. But you know, now Sven's not going to be part of the show. But what's the Atari? What's an Atari in this? I'm ashamed. I thought I had the right. Let's see. It's just this one. This is the one right here. Okay. There we go. I think the Atari is when you clear all the things. And I don't. Oh, this is one of my more favorite games. It's just the fun mechanics of the people. Yeah, they smash into the ground. A little bit cruel, makes me laugh. Yeah, it's slapstick humor. And if this was a real person, yeah, I'd be concerned. I wouldn't recommend this on the hover, the teeter-totter, the levitating lever. Yes! Oh, there's got to be some perfect rhythm where you can just go up and down. And dude, man, that was just completing the Atari. Popping all the balloons. Completing the Atari of popping all the balloons. And I can have like one paragraph on the Atari. Ooh, oh, come on now. Let's try this again. Yep, I don't think I'll get an Atari. I'm not going to complete the Atari for this Circus Atari game. Which is getting all the balloons in the story. Yeah, I'm going to do one more time. I got 51 minutes left. I just need to write, set a paragraph, and then show the Atari. What the Atari is, and then show it happen. And I think I'm going to have him succeed. But I might have it to where he retires after. And lets his sister carry on with Sven, Yolanda and Sven. And they're going to still keep the name though. That's the one thing. Sven's really want to be part of the Friedman, so Sven's going to change their last name. That's a different story. That'd be I don't know what that'd be. It wouldn't be this one. This has to do with the actual event. So Jake Feltz. I felt my leg. I felt his leg. Felt his. What did he break? Broke his leg. Broke his. I felt his femur. God. His leg. Like I've never broken a limb, so I don't have that nonfiction to help make my fiction seem more real right now. Never broken a bone. Not that I played hard, but I always seem to recover. There was a couple times I was a little shocked, but hey, that's what hard dirt and a bike will happen when you go off a really steep jump and endo. Yeah. Jeff felt his leg. Jeff's leg twitches pain. Each rung of the ladder above the circus near the balloons. Ready for the Atari. The Atari is the best ending to their performance. And Atari exists when all the balloons floating near the ceiling of the circus tent are popped. When, let's just say when an Atari, not Atari, an Atari exist after Sven, after the Friedmans launch each other toward the circus tent ceiling. There we are. An Atari exists after the Freedmans launch each other toward the circus tent ceiling and pop all the balloons. The Atari best ending. The Atari is the best ending to their performance. What does that even mean? The Atari. Let's just say Atari is the best. Atari. I don't have. Is the best ending to their performance. The best possible. The best ending to their performance. If there is no an Atari exists, the Freedmans like they say before they announce the act, we have only completed one Atari. which is a lie, but a better story before trying to get another Atari. The Atari will go. Jeff thinks of the Atari. Jeff thinks. That's a problem. If Jeff's thinking right now, we don't need that. So we got 1, 2, the setup. What's the Atari? Now we got to complete it and pop all the balloons. And now the mechanics. Jeff leaps from the top of the pole, bounces on trampoline, hits a lever, and then boom. Okay, so that's madcap right there. Jeff inhales. And lets the breath exhale his Jeff inhales and lets the breath exhale. His shaking, his nervous, his shaking, nervous, is nervously shaking, shaking, shacking, shaking, shacking, shaking, shacking, shaking. His nervously shaking hands, and lets the breath exhale his nervously shaking hands. That grip, the rungs, as his body hung above a small trampoline on the trapeze platform. He glances at, because the first jump's the easiest. It's the reaction to the first, and once you get into the rhythm, he glances at Yolanda. Where's my words in my mind? He glances at Yolanda and Yolanda on the levitating launcher. Levitating launcher. How many different ways I'm gonna spell this at the end? I'll still be able to read it, so that's all I suppose. Maybe we'll see. He glanced. My past tense. Let's get some past tense, because that's what I've decided I'm going to write this in, but then I start a new paragraph. Let the breath exhale his nervously shaking hands that gripped the rungs and hung above the small trampoline on the trapeze platform. He glanced, not S, but I want a D right here. All right, so I'm still seeing this. I'm just going to, but I see this playing out as just showing the action of the back and forth, and I think they're going to complete it. One paragraph at the start, one in the middle, and one at the end. I want this person to succeed. I want to see the Atari win. I want to see the Atari happen. He glanced at Yolanda on the levitating launcher. He released and fell to the small trampoline that launched him into the air and over the ring toward Yolanda. Who guided levitating or levitating? Levitating? Levitating. I have no idea. I'll read. Just gotta remember to read it the way I want to read. All right, so he released. Let's release. I at least got fell. I just forgot the D. Duh. He released. And fell to the small trampoline that launched him into the air, and over the circus ring toward Yolanda, who guided the levitating lever. Other end and under Jeff's I could write back and forth. I like that. Then the third paragraph. So this first paragraph I'll have Jeff. The second paragraph I'll have Yolanda. Then I'm going to have a paragraph of them, Yolanda and Jeff doing the thing. And then the last paragraph will be the conclusion. That might work. Might not. I got 37 minutes to see. But I got to write the words first. Else it's just, yeah. All right, let's get this. So then Jeff landed on the levitating lever, and launched Yolanda toward the ceiling and into the balloons. Yolanda flew up and at an angle, arms flung and flailed near the ceiling, popping 20 balloons. Let's say 4 balloons before she fell at an angle, at an arc, toward the trapeze, the net. Jeff guided the levitating. I'll spell it at least the same way, right? Lever, other end, under Yolanda, embraced. Maybe I won't need as many words. Embraced for launch, for his first launch. with his aching leg. There we go. Jeff guided the levitating lever's other end under Yolanda and braced for his first launch with his aching leg. Yolanda hit the other end of the lever and launched Jeff into the air. And Jeff body jolted with the thrust and launch of him toward the ceiling and the balloons. Jeff swatted and smashed 6 balloons. The crowd cheered. Cheered and clapped. The crowd shouted and hollered, "Go, Jeff!" The crowd shouted and hollered, "Go, Jeff!" And Jeff landed with a slight pinch in hip while launching Yolanda into the air. Now let's do a summary of all of the stuff, like the action up into the last balloon. It's a fun game. Let's play a little more. Let's play this game just a bit more. So I got at least Jeff's body. They've done the cycle, and now it's like the summary to the last balloon. I think that's what I want. Yo, that is not what I wanted. That is not what I wanted. I think Jeff or Yolanda in this instance is just smash. Boom. Holy cow. I'm doing really good with... I mean, how was that not... It's like the best teeter-tottering I did the whole time with no balloons. Come on. Get me a dang balloon. Dudes. Dudette. Come on, Jeff and Yolanda. Do your job. Or maybe this is the performance of Sven and Yolanda. Because Jeff's in rehabilitation. Because right now, this is just not... This is what the Friedmans do. Friedmans are way, way better than this. Oh, man. I mean, I like this better than Breakout. I'm not shading Breakout. That's a classic game. You can't, you got to respect the game. Even if you don't like playing it. I do like playing it. I'd rather play this. This is kind of, I need a better paddle, or at least more training on how to remember to use the Atari paddle controllers, because my skills are not there anymore, if they ever were. Jeff landed on the slight back and forth. Back, up, and down, and all around the freedmen's launched each other into the air, smashing balloons, while the crowd counted down. 10, 8, 9, 9, 10, then 8, 9, 8, 9, 8, 9, 8, 7, 9, 8, 7. Yolanda popped 6 and 5. Jeff popped 1 and nearly missed the levitating lever. Drawing a gasp, then a clap when Jeff launched Yolanda. And popped. Who popped 3, 3, and 2. And she reached for the last balloon, but let it float. It float as she fell and landed on the lever. Launching Jeff into the sky. The crowd quieted. The crowd's cheers calmed, stopped. A few held their breath. They watched Jeff launch from the lever and into toward the ceiling. And one and the last balloon. Jeff, whose mind had at one with their soul, floated like an angel toward the balloon. Their mind no longer feeling their body, nor thinking of the past, nor the future. Jeff existed only in the present. And the balloon. The balloon popped. The crowd cheered. Jeff landed on the teeter-totter, on the lever, launching Yolanda into the sky, toward the trapeze pole and the ladder rungs that she grabbed. With Jeff on the lever and Yolanda on the ladder, both raised an arm and took a bow to the standing and clapping crowd. Who shouted, "Atari, Atari, Atari." I think that's my story. There we are. All right, let's get my voice back. At least my maybe my. So I got 22 minutes. I'm gonna play this one more time. I've got the story. The story is right here. It's not too bad. But let's play this game. I want to see it though. One more time. Let's read the story. And I feel like something got accomplished today. It's like the balloons. It's just like kind of Pong. Like I feel. Oh man. Yeah. See, that's not very good. Like I have to get red at the end. I wish that's one thing that's kind of. I wish it's like the sensitivity on this thing is. What do I mean by sensitivity? I guess the required accuracy I need to be able to have that thing land on the lever is pretty precise. And the way that it's not like Pong, where you can kind of Pong or breakout, where you can sort of slide, swipe the ball up. This one you got to have it like you got a shorter span in which you can have the thing land on, but then it may not launch. If it even succeeds and you don't kill the character, it may not launch you into the air. Anyway, I really like that game. That was real fun. I want to read the story though. I think I might like the story, and then I might be done. I will be done. That's the point of video game flash fiction. Let's get the voice. Let's drink some water. Got 20 minutes left, but I think I have the story I want to read. Okay. Let's get comfortable. Ain't that long of a story. Hopefully I don't have to read it twice. But if I do, so what? Whoa. Excuse me. One moment. There we go. For today's video game flash fiction story, inspired by the game called Circus Atari. Circus Atari. The Flying Freedman's fantastic levitating lever hovered over the circus ring between two trapeze poles and platforms, and below layers of red and blue and green balloons. Yolanda guided the levitating lever that looked like a flying teeter-totter by one pole. Man, first my nose inches, and two, what the hell, by one pole? By one what? By one pole. By one pole? By one end. Like a flying teeter-totter. Let's see. The levitating lever that looked like a floating teeter-totter hovered near one trapeze. Trapeze? I got a Z, right? Is that a trapeze? I don't know how to spell trapeze. It's not with an S. I just gotta go. I don't know how to spell every word in the world, and I know I should look it up, but I'm using Vim. Time, don't care. Flying teeter-totter hovered near one trapeze pole while brother climbed the other pole near the... Sorry, we're going to have to do this again. It's not a big deal. We got 17 minutes left, and, what else? What's some boring process? This is exciting, at least. Let's read it. Let's get it. This is inspired by Circus Atari. Circus Atari. The Flying Freedman's fantastic levitating lever hovered over the circus ring and between two trapeze poles and platforms, and below layers of yellow, blue, and red balloons. Yolanda guided the levitating lever that looked like a flying teeter-totter and hovered it near one of the trapeze poles, while her brother Jeff climbed the other pole near the ceiling and the balloons. The Flying Fantastic Freedmans readied for their complete an Atari. Whoa, readied for a complete Atari. Readied their performance. Readied for their performance. Readied for their performance. Performance with the hope of completing with an Atari. There we go. Man. This I usually can pick up and read over mistakes, but I have to train my mind to perform that. Another tool I'll blame, my own mind, but I suppose at least it's blaming the tool I have the most control over, so it's not like I'm blaming something else. All right, let's do this. For today's video game flash fiction story, Circus Atari. Circus Atari. The Flying Freedman's fantastic levitating lever hovered over the circus ring and between two trapeze poles and platforms, and below layers of yellow, blue, and red balloons. Yolanda guided the levitating lever that looked like a flying teeter-totter and hovered it near one of the trapeze poles, while her brother Jeff climbed the other pole near the ceiling and the balloons. The Flying Fantastic Freedmans readied for their performance with the hope of completing an Atari, the first Atari since Jeff's return to the circus after failing their last Atari. Jeff's last Atari ended near the end of their performance only when one of Jeff's legs landed on the levitating lever. Jeff snapped his legs and he landed on the net in awe of the crowd. The sound of the clapping audience when Jeff raised a fist before he rolled into the ambulance motivated Jeff during the past 2 months of healing and physical therapy. Jeff spent his savings while rehabilitating and talked with Yolanda while she performed Ataris with her boyfriend. The trapeze artist Sven. Jeff's leg twitched pain, head rung of ladder above the circus near the balloons. God, that sucked. I don't want to read this again, but even my voice when I was reading it was terrible, and I know this isn't what about video game flash fiction is, but what's the trapeze? Jeff's leg twitched pain. Now, months later, Jeff's legs twitched pain and head rung. Wow, this is just bad. Head rung. While he hung on the ladder, on the pole ladder above the circus near the balloons, ready for the Atari. Okay. Atari is best ending. Let's just go ahead and maybe I should read through these one of these times. For the performance, an Atari exists after the Freedmen's launch each other toward the circus tent ceiling and pop all the balloons. The Freedmen, like they say before the announcing acts, we have only for the Freedmen's like to say before the announce the Freedmen's announce before their acts. Yeah, this is probably better. Before their act. We have only, which is a lie, but a better story before trying to get another Atari. Jeff inhaled and let their breath exhale. His nervously shaking hands that gripped the rungs of the hung above the okay. Let's put a D here at least. I think I can read this through. I don't think I'm gonna have the bravado maybe. The bravado by saying this with a gust. Oh, I don't know. I really don't. I do know this. For today's video game flash fiction, we have Circus Atari. Circus Atari. The Flying Freedman's fantastic levitating lever hovered over the circus ring and between two trapeze poles and platforms, and below layers of yellow, blue, and red balloons. Yolanda guided the levitating lever that looked like a flying teeter-totter and hovered near one of the trapeze poles, while her brother Jeff climbed the other pole near the ceiling and the balloons. The Flying Fantastic Freedmans readied for their performance with the hope of completing an Atari, the first Atari since Jeff's return to the circus after failing their last Atari. Jeff's last Atari ended near the end of their performance when only one of Jeff's legs landed on the levitating lever. Jeff snapped the leg and he landed on the net. The sound of the clapping audience when Jeff raised a fist before he rolled into the ambulance motivated Jeff during the past 2 months of healing and physical therapy. Jeff spent his savings while rehabilitating and talked with Yolanda while she performed Ataris with her boyfriend, the trapeze artist Sven. Months later, Jeff's leg twitched and pain wrung head while he hung on the pole ladder above the circus near the balloons ready for the Atari. Atari is the best ending of their performance, and Atari exists after the Freedmans launch each other toward the circus tent ceiling and pop all the balloons. The Freedmen announced before their act, "We have only completed 3 Ataris and many failed attempts," which is a lie, but a better story before trying to get another Atari. Jeff inhaled and let his breath exhale, his nervously shaking hands that gripped the rungs and hung above the small trampoline on the trapeze platform. He glanced at Yolanda on the levitating launcher. He released and fell to the small trampoline that launched him into the air and over the circus ring toward Yolanda, who guided the lever over to the other end and under Jeff. Jeff landed on the other end of the levitating lever and launched Yolanda toward the ceiling and the balloons. Yolanda flew up at an angle and arms flung and flailed near the ceiling, popping 4 balloons before she fell at an arc toward the net. Jeff guided the levitating lever others and under Yolanda and braced for his first launch with his aching leg. Yolanda hit the other end of the lever and launched Jeff into the air. The crowd cheered and clapped. Jeff's body jolted with the thrust and launched him toward the ceiling and the balloons. Jeff swatted and smashed 6 balloons. The crowd shouted and hollered, "Go, Jeff!" Jeff landed with a slight pinch in his hip while launching into the air. Up and down and all around, the Freemans launched into the air, smashing balloons while the crowd counted down. 10, then 9, 8, 7. Yolanda popped 6 and 5. Jeff popped 1 and near missed the levitating lever, drawing a gasp and a clap when Jeff launched Yolanda, who popped 3 and 2, and then she reached for the last balloon but let it float by as she fell, landing on the levitating lever, launching Jeff into the sky. The crowd cheers stopped. A few held their breath. They watched Jeff launch from the lever and toward the ceiling in the last balloon. Jeff, at one with their soul, floated like an angel toward the balloon. Their mind no longer felt their body, nor thought of the past, nor future. Jeff existed only in the present and the balloon. The balloon popped. The crowd cheered. Jeff landed on the lever and launched Yolanda toward the trapeze pole and the ladder rungs that she grabbed. With Jeff on the lever and Yolanda on the ladder, both raised arms and bowed to the standing and clapping crowd who shouted, "Atari! Atari! Atari!" That was video game flash fiction for today. I do not hate that story. I could be very biased because I enjoyed playing the game. And that's okay. I can say it is not a dystopian story. But a story that is fun and makes me smile. We'll clear and we'll turn this off. We'll remove the game. And, well, with all that, that was video game flash fiction for today. Until the next game. Until the next adventure in life. Prepare for the next one. Plan for it. So you can enjoy the moment.